Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Josh Winiarski, and I'm a photographer and filmmaker here on YouTube as well as Instagram, and today we're going to be going over the first 5 things you need as a filmmaker. And just because I'm a total nerd, we're going to start off thinking in terms of a video game. This might sound like a tangent, but bear with me. So in a traditional RPG video game, there are 2 ways to progress, to get stronger. The first is to upgrade your stats, things like health and strength. And the second is to upgrade equipment, things like armor and swords. Now in filmmaking, it's very similar. You get better by going on projects, collaborating with others, and making lots of things, watching tutorials and progressing your actual skills. But you also get better by investing in new gear that's going to help you make better content. Why I like the video game analogy so much is in most games you have to progress, you have to grind it out, you have to get to a certain level of skill before you can even use certain equipment. And in filmmaking it's pretty much the same thing. If you don't have the knowledge or skill to use a certain piece of gear, then you can't use it at all, or definitely not to its full potential. For instance, here's a clip from 2 years ago taken on this exact same camera that I'm filming on right now. My name is Josh Winiarski, and today we're going to be talking about why I bought a Canon 80D in 2018. I had the equipment to make a good looking image back then, but I didn't have the knowledge or skill to do so. I hadn't met the level requirements. See kind of where I'm going with this? Now, depending on what you want to make, the order of this might vary, a little bit, but you can't go wrong getting these things first to start your filmmaking journey. So without further ado, let's get into the first item, which is a camera. Is this too obvious? Maybe, but let me explain. So there are a ton of different cameras you could start out with. Start out with a point and shoot, a DSLR, a mirrorless, a camcorder, or heck, even your phone. And as much as I hate to admit it, the phone is a really good option. Most people already have it, and you can do 1080p or 4K video, or on the newest ones I think even 8K video with something that fits in your pocket, which is awesome. If you want to start YouTube, maybe make some skits or just record some memories or skate videos or whatever it is you like to do, you really can't go wrong starting off with a phone. It's what I recommend for casual shooters. However, if you're looking at really diving into the craft of filmmaking, learning the basics, learning how to get exactly the type of image you want, and oh, I'm getting excited just thinking about it, you're gonna want a dedicated camera. Now, point and shoots are great, you get good quality, they're super convenient, you can still fit them in your pocket, and you can take them wherever you want. But if you're really looking to learn, and you have a goal of making extremely high quality content, honestly, I'd just skip them all together. What you're going to want is a camera with interchangeable lenses, whether that's a mirrorless camera or a DSLR. And I know as someone who's looking at getting maybe their first or second camera, you don't want to hear this, but honestly, it doesn't really matter what you get nowadays. Pretty much anything made in the past 5 years that does 1080p video and has interchangeable lenses is going to be very solid for learning and actually making some pretty high quality stuff with. DSLR and mirrorless cameras give you full control over aperture, shutter speed, ISO, white balance, frame rate, codecs, picture profiles, and so much more. They're just awesome for learning all of the foundations to making video. Going back to the video game analogy, when you have a camera with a lot of settings, you're investing in the gear, but you're also making it possible to learn and progress and increase your own level so you can make higher quality stuff with any kind of camera. And item number 2 is gonna be a microphone. This may or may not be something you thought you needed, but it's one of those things you don't notice until it's gone. Here's an example. So listen to my voice right now, and then I'm gonna unplug the microphone and listen to how bad it gets. Okay, and this is how the audio sounds without an external microphone. The banana is bad and the grass is green. The banana is bad and the grass is green. Even something as cheap as a $30 microphone is going to make a massive difference in your audio quality. It's definitely something you need to invest in early. If you're doing voiceovers, a desktop microphone is going to work awesome. If you're doing interviews or talking headshots like I am now, something like a lapel or lav mic that you can clip on is going to give you really good audio. And if you want to do a little bit of everything, you can't go wrong with a shotgun microphone. If you've ever seen a video with a ton of echo or static, or just sounds like the guy's yelling from across the room, You know, it just sounds terrible. It makes the video almost unwatchable. Don't be that guy. Okay, and item number 3 is gonna be lights. Investing in lights might not be the sexiest purchase you're gonna make in 2020, but oftentimes it makes a bigger difference than the lens or even the camera that you're filming on. And yes, you heard that right, the light, something you might spend $50 on, can make a bigger difference than the actual camera you shoot on. It's something I personally put off way too long in my filmmaking career, but it makes such a big difference. So watch this. Let me just turn all the lights off that I'm using to film right now. All of a sudden, my video looks like this. Now, granted, yes, I can crank up the settings on my camera, so let me do that real quick. So as you can see, that looks a little better, but it's still awful. If I shot a video for a client that looked like this, I would honestly be embarrassed to even show it to him. This does not look good. Whether it's a small pocket life, some makeshift thing from IKEA, or you decide to invest in professional, high quality lights, it's gonna make such a difference. Don't be like me, do not put this off for a year or even more. Invest in lights early, even something small makes such a big difference. Next, we've got item number 4, which is absolutely not a bore, the tripod. I apologize for that rhyme. So hopefully by now your videos look good to viewers, but you're probably tired of stacking up junk just to get your camera at eye level. It's time to invest in a tripod, and in hindsight, maybe I should have even put this up sooner. Now, a tripod is definitely one of those things you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on right off the bat, but don't get something absurdly cheap. Something like an Amazon Basics tripod, yes, can be found for under $20, but honestly, I don't even trust the thing to hold up my camera. I pretty much only use it for lights and microphones. I'd say spending anywhere from $50 to $100 on a quality tripod is a good place to start, and the biggest thing you need to consider is what type of head is actually on top of it. Ball heads are going to be great if you need to rotate the camera, get some funky angles, or even turn it all the way sideways. But if you want smooth pans and tilts, and you just want something that's going to stay perfectly level, you can't go wrong with a pan and tilt head, which is what I recommend for filmmaking. Ball heads are a little more for photography. A good tripod is not only going to inspire trust that your expensive camera rig isn't going to come crashing down, but it is going to help you get smooth shots, smooth pans, and it's going to boost the production value of your videos. And last but not least, at item 5, we've got a second lens. While having one lens to do everything sounds like a good idea, generally speaking, each lens is going to be better for specific things, and having one lens that does everything means, you might get decent results, but actually specializing certain lenses for certain tasks is going to get you better quality images. The lens I recommend most people get as a second lens is none other than the 50mm f1.8, otherwise known as the Nifty 50. Now, this lens has an f1.8 aperture, making it great for low light, making it great for getting that shallow depth of field, that blurry background. It's going to really boost the production value of your videos once again. For around $100, it's tough to beat the Nifty 50, both in terms of price and performance. But whatever lens you go with, hopefully you should get something with a different focal length that's going to allow you to mix up your shots and get more dynamic looking sequences. Okay, that about covers it. There were other things I could have put in this video, hard drives, SD cards, computers, stuff like that, but these are the 5 most important things that you might not already have that are worth investing in if you want to make videos or become a filmmaker. If you've got any other suggestions, drop them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think are some of the first things you should buy as a filmmaker. But as always, thanks again for watching. My name's Josh Winiarski, and have fun, stay creative, and I'll see you all in the next one. I think I say that outro slightly different every time now.